finish this one end of it. So this is the loop. It's just the same way as you're going to do a snare if you're doing natural fiber. It's not natural. This is synthetic fiber, but no other fiber will work on that bow because that bow's got so much poundage. It's too heavy. It's too much bow for the string that, you know, it's a natural string won't hold up anyway. But this is the process of making it yourself, and then I go to this other end, and I gotta measure it out again. This is, you can see I've got my loop, twisted my loop. I showed that before. I did that with a natural fiber, but I'm doing it again with the, with a natural fiber. I'm doing it again with a synthetic, which is my bowstring. But you can see I've got 4 strands. I gotta go white to black and white to black. That way, you're opposing each other. So now I just twist this down just like I would actually on my pants on this one. Try and get this as tight as I possibly can. And then once I get the kinks where it kinks like that, see how it's kinked a little bit? You want to back it off just a little bit from there. You don't want it kinked. But you want it just before the kink. And then come to the other side, twist it, and then roll it down. I find it quicker to roll it on my pants. It's really the way the native Indians do it down in South America, even today. You see them in their own villages. You know, when I was down there in Panama, you know, I went to their village, and the women were using natural fiber to make cord, and then they were making belts and sandals and all kinds of cool stuff out of that plant fiber, which I do myself. I took a page out of what they do. Mine's a little different. My technique is different. The way I get to the end result is different. But I learned a lot down there too, seeing the way other people do things. That was when I was training the SEALs down in Panama Canal. This is all Central South America. What a awesome place. But anyway, so now I've got my string. I hope I'm right. And check it right now to see if the length is right. I think it is. I don't even have my nocks on there right now, but more important than that is the length of the string right. That's the most important part. Wow. Man, might not be. Might have made it too short. It's about right. It's a little short. You can see it stretching. It doesn't stretch much. I mean, these strings do not stretch. To be honest with you, they're not. Strings are made from Dacron are not flexible. They do not stretch. You can see I've made nocks from my arrow, from my string, and knock on both sides. Now what I gotta do, now that I've made my loop on both sides, my string loop, I gotta twist this down, shorten it. Then I'll bend the bow. Not too much because it's not tillered. You don't want to go too much with it. Put it into the corner like that. Bend your knee down like that. That's the way I do it. A lot of people do it differently. But that right there is just about perfect. And this it's really the length of the string length is just perfect, really. Okay, you can see I've got my string attached to the bow. I'm going right down the center. Of course, it's not tillered, so you don't want to bend it yet. but it's ready to go, and I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start pulling it down and tillering it and show you how to tiller a bow. But this is the start, and it looks like it's coming into being. It's not there yet, but it sure is looking like a real bona fide, bow. God, I'm getting really excited about it now. I don't usually get too excited about bow making. It's a long process. It takes some time, if you want to do it right, but I got a lot of work to do yet. I mean, there's a lot yet that hasn't been done, so it seems like it's finished and all that, but it's a long ways from being finished. But I'm going to try and take you step by step through it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It seems like the limbs are bending. See, like let the bow, I don't know if I see the whole thing. I'll have to look at it myself. I need to put it on my tillering string, but anyway, it's ready to start tillering. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, I'm Madison Parker. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy this video. It's primitive bow making. It's a great fun, a lot of fun, very rewarding. And shooting them, is fun too. It's awesome. Only problem I have with them is I don't like chasing arrows, but that's why I like slingshot. I don't have to chase my projectiles, whereas with a bow you have to chase your arrows, and that's the part I really kind of arrows are very slow. Oh my God, they're as tough to build as a bow is. I mean, there's a lot of steps and they take a long time, and they have to be perfect. They can't have any flaws in them. They got to be perfectly straight. They got to have the right weight. In other words, spine, they call it spine. They have to be the right spine weight according to the bow. It has to correspond. Kind of like the corresponding weight of the projectile has to correspond to this slingshot. So it's the same as an arrow. That arrow has to correspond to the weight of that bow. So, man, you shoot a dozen arrows out there and end up losing 3. That's $60 minimum, and that's cheap arrows. That's $20 a piece. That's dead cheap. That's more likely if you're getting good Port Orford cedar, or even better than that, river cane, making them yourself. Shoot, you're talking about $35 an arrow. You buy a dozen arrows for 200 and some change, and go shoot a dozen arrows in a meat and lose 3. It's going to ruin your meat. It's going to just like bug you. Believe me, it eats you up. I love archery. I love shooting bows. I love building them. I love messing with the arrows. I like building the arrows too. But boy, does it ever bug the crap out of me whenever I lose half. I buy a dozen or get a dozen or build a dozen. Even worse, if you build your dozen, Sometimes I buy arrows from a friend of mine that's better at building arrows than I am. I'm pretty good at it though. I got some nice handmade arrows. It's just a matter of how much time you want to spend on it. But anyway, I'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to put this on the tillering stick and show you how you tiller a bow. See where we go. And just stay tuned. I'll see you in a little bit.